We join together in spirit, creating sacred spaces wherever we may find it. Our community is us, together, despite the distance. We join together in shared goals, in laughter, in love, in the spirit of peace, with a future bright before us. We join together today in celebration of new roles, new voices, new freedoms, and new dreams.
I am Jackson Chuckalochak, and I've been attending the church since I was 3 years old. I welcome you to this virtual worship service of the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Because we cannot meet in the church building, there have been program changes, including new programs to strengthen and serve members and friends of the church during this time of physical distancing. Every Sunday there's a live virtual coffee hour following the service from 11:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. Please read news you can use and other emails you receive from the church, and please check the website regularly for updates. Please note the times when the minister is available via Zoom for you to check in and talk. Please send your joy or sorrow via the link in the email you received, and indicate whether you give permission for it to be read in next week's service. We are all missing each other, and we are all also missing the opportunity of our in-person service that gives us the opportunity to share things about ourselves or what we are feeling with the congregation. So no matter what your joy or sorrow is, we hope you take the opportunity to let us know you are out there. Submissions for joys and sorrows can be done via the link in the news you can use or in the email you received with the link for today's service. If you are a visitor or newcomer, I invite you to explore the website uchbg.org to learn about the church and its many activities. To all watching or listening, I say, whoever you are, wherever you live, whomever you love, whatever you do for a living, you are welcome at the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg.
Those of you at home to light a chalice or candle or whatever you choose to serve as your chalice at home. Out of love for the human community, we light this flame. Its light is a symbol of the triumph of truth over superstition and fear. It is for learning and understanding. We light it with hope to make this a better world. Please join in the reading of the Unison Affirmation.
Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift.
This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace,
to speak our truths in love,
and to help one another.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no
Once again, good morning. I am Amy Beth Gibbs, the facilitator of our Coming of Age program. This year has been an exciting time for the participants, as well as for their parents, mentors, and facilitators. Perhaps the most interesting thing about this class has been the environment we've been experiencing. How odd to be coming of age at a time where social and educational interactions are happening in such a different environment and format than ever before. The idea that we have not once met together outside of Zoom. that we've covered all the topics of our class via screens and keyboards and Google Slides. It would have been unimaginable just a year ago. We were initially hopeful that this service would be presented live and in person, but believe it or not, this may be the perfect format for this particular group of participants. As always, our class covered topics ranging from philosophy and communication to critical thinking and theology, and spiritual practices and social justice. We tasked the youth with reflecting on their personal beliefs and asked them to consider many moral and ethical situations full of gray areas and nuance. We even asked them to consider a list of 101 questions to aid in the creation of their personal statement of beliefs. Each student was paired with an adult mentor from within UCH, and I'm confident that these mentors were jointly learners in these relationships. As we prepare to enter a new chapter of our UCH story, please welcome these youth into our adult community and listen to the voice and perspective they give to us. During our service today, each of the coming-of-age youth will share some of their reflections with you in the form of a credo. If you are amazed or intrigued by what you experienced today and would like to be part of our next group of mentors or facilitators in 2022-23, please talk with me or Corey. Also, if you or your child will be in grades 7 to 9 in 2022-23, we hope you'll plan to join the next coming-of-age group. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Aurelia, and this is my credo. My Halbert's house is Southern. My family is a mix of New England, Jamaican, Polish, Eastern Shore, but I'm adopted from Guatemala. I go to Bishop McDevitt High School in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I learned Spanish, and I'm in the Sign Language Club. I also play on the girls lacrosse team. My career that I'm interested in is something in architecture and design, or building design. I'm a combination of an extrovert and an introvert. It really depends on the people I'm around. I try to be optimistic, but I can be a little pessimistic at times. I'm happy when I'm around my friends and family. Death and violence makes me really sad, especially violence makes me mad. I'm embarrassed when I fall. It's always funny. People tend to think of me as the quiet one, but if they really get to know me, they can start to see that I am not quiet. I like to make a lot of noise. I started high school during this pandemic, and with all the new restrictions and challenging, it has been a long year. Along with trying to figure out who I wanted to be in the next chapter of my life. I don't want to be that kid who's 30 and living in their parents' basement. When I go shopping with my friends, I feel independent, paying for myself and knowing what I want. I like being the friend who friends go to for advice. When people in my family don't share the same opinion as me, I don't automatically agree with them just because they're my family and I love them. I'm gonna hold my own and give my opinion, whether they are gonna respect it or not. I believe the way humans use their power for good can show if they're a bad or good person. One who uses their power over others to force people into their way of seeing, I see as a bad leader. But someone who uses their power for good and uses their ideas and suggestions from others can be seen as a good leader. Evil can come in many forms, from people who believe in the devil and Satan, hate and violence. I see those as bad. It happens because people don't want to use their voice to stand up for what is right. People aren't always listening to what they're taught in kindergarten. Think before you act and speak. Lying is bad. Lying has always been taught to me as something you don't do. But as I've gotten older, I found that sometimes it's best not to tell the exact truth. I've been very open about hearing people's religions and beliefs. I'm not going to judge someone on how they think or what they think others should think. I'm not going to instantly switch to their beliefs after listening to them, though. I'm going to like to hear their thoughts because I may find something that really speaks to me more than you does. Bad things can happen for different reasons. For example, I think it's just natural forces that cause a plague or a flood. I believe the dead can influence the living, but it's not possible to communicate in return. The dead can influence not from being famous, for being a famous person, but simply by inspiring examples and set by family relatives. They don't need to be Martin Luther King Jr. for you to feel the impact they had on your life. There is heaven, but I don't believe in hell. Heaven is a place where your mind, spirit goes after death, but your body will stay behind in the ground or ashes. I try to be a kind person who is willing to help others. I want to be remembered as is, not all the good stuff, but the mistakes and the bad things I've done. I want people to know me and grow from it. The end.
Hi, I'm Nadia Trifonostock, and I'm going to be reading the children's message today. I'm going to be reading The Colors of Us. So, Colors of Us. My name is Lane. I'm 7. I'm the color cinnamon, Mom says. She could eat me up. My mom's the color French toast. She's an artist. She's teaching me how to mix colors. She says that if I mix red, yellow, black, and white paints in the right combination, I'll have the right brown for a picture of me. The right brown? But Mom, brown is brown, I say. Mom says, there's lots of different shades of browns. Let's take a walk. You'll see. We go to the playground where we see my friend Sonia. Sonia's a light brown, Mom says. Just like creamy peanut butter, I say. My favorite. Isabella's chocolate brown, like the cupcakes we had at her birthday. Lucy has skin that's peachy and tan. Oh. My best friend Georgian lives close to the playground. Georgian is the color of honey. 2 streets over, we meet my cousin Kyle. His skin is a reddish brown, like leaves in fall. Carlos and Rosita have brought their new puppy to the park. Carlos is a cocoa brown, and Rosita's skin looks like butterscotch. We pass by the pizza parlor. Mom and I see Mr. Pellegrino flipping a pizza high in the air. He is the color of pizza crust, a golden brown. My babysitter Candy is like a beautiful jewel, bronze and amber. She looks like a princess. Mom and I walked to the park to eat our lunch. Look at everyone's legs, Mom. All different shades. After lunch, we talked to Mom's favorites. After lunch, we walked to Mom's favorite store where Mr. Kashmir sells many different spices. He's the color of ginger and chili powder. Up the street is my Aunt Kathy's laundromat. Aunt Kathy is tawny tan, like coconuts and coffee. Coffee toffee. After we walk, my friends come over. We take our towels to the roof and lie in the sun. I think about everyone I saw today. Sonia, Isabel, and Lucy, Jojen and Kyle, Carlos and Rosita, Mr. Pellegrino and Candy, Mr. Cashmere, and Aunt Kathy. Each one of them are a beautiful color too. My friends leave, and I go downstairs. I'm happy as I get out my paints. Yellow, red, black, and white. I think about all the wonderful colors that I will make, and I say their names out loud. Cinnamon, chocolate, and honey, coffee toffee, and butterscotch. They all sound so delicious. At last, my pictures are done. I painted everyone. Look, Mom, I say, the colors of us. So, there's the colors of us. Hope you enjoyed this story.
In the Bible, it says that the earth was created in 6 days by God. Creationists, using evidence from the Bible, believe that the earth was created 6,000 years ago. While many people have come to accept a metaphorical interpretation of this statement, it is still a good example of religion stating facts without providing the appropriate evidence to back them up. Using scientific evidence, we can roughly determine the age of the earth, and it is not 6,000 years old. It is in fact 4.5 billion years old. We know this because of scientific methods where we can determine the age of the rock by the presence of certain elements in the rock. This method has been scrutinized by scientists from all around the world and has been determined to be accurate according to scientific principles. I do not believe that there is an afterlife or that any kind of soul exists because I've not seen any evidence that it does exist. I also do not believe that there is a god or deity-like being because I have not seen any evidence that one such being does exist. I am interested in science fiction and science. I think that this is part of the reason that I do not readily believe in supernatural religion, because I like science so much. I don't think that I can apply the scientific worldview of asking questions and looking for evidence and then also believe in the supernatural side of a religion. I believe that we should try to help people in need of help, because we're all human, we all suffer in the same way. We may deal with it differently, but at the end of the day, we are able to empathize with each other. Even if we as an individual have not suffered greatly, we can imagine what it would be like.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. Oh, for each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth, keepers of faith, makers of peace, and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage, fathers of time, daughters of dust, and the sons of great fear. visions. We're sisters of mercy, brothers of love, lovers of life, and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings, and we are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are one.
I'm Ryan Brown, and this is my credo. Over the last few months, I have learned that I'm a pagan. I believe in fate and reincarnation. My view of fate is that when you are born, you are given several paths to choose from as you grow older and go more into your life. However, you do not have to follow these paths. You may keep off of them your whole life, or you may stay on them. It is all up to you. At the end of your path, your soul or being will move on to another life. This life reflects your last, meaning that if you were a mean and selfish person, that your life in the future may be bad or very short. What is most important to me about my beliefs is to take care of the earth. This means recycling and not polluting, which is one of the principles of Unitarian Universalism. This has helped shape my beliefs, being that I have grown up in the Unitarian Universalist Church. I realize that my beliefs may change, which is why I can have conversations with other spiritual people. I appreciate a congregation where learning and conversation are normal and accepted. Thank you.
Today in this congregation, someone is hurting or in sorrow. Today in this congregation, someone is anxious because of the events in the world. Today in this congregation, someone is lonely. Today in this congregation, someone is filled with joy and wants to celebrate. For all the fear and all the sorrow in the world today, there are still moments of joy. While we did not receive any joys or sorrows to be read this week, may all those who have unshared joys or sorrows be comforted to know that there still remains love for those names who remain in our hearts, and love for those who hear, trust and acceptance of this community, and trust of the continuancy of life. Where there is birth, life goes on. Where there is death, life goes on. Where there is joy, life goes on. Where there is sorrow, life goes on. May we always live in trust and in love, that all joy might be shared, and all sorrow comforted. This is our prayer. Amen. Blessed be.
I'm Nadia Trifonostack, and this is my credo. Just to start off, a little bit about me. For those who don't know me, my name is Nadia Trifonostack. I've been raised in the UU community, and I currently go to Londonderry, which is a private school. And I'm going to Bishop McDevitt with my friend Aurelia next year for high school. I live with both of my parents, Peter and Kendra, and my brother Owen, who is 17. My brother and I are both adopted from different families, which is kind of ironic because we look so similar. I live with my pets, and those are kind of important to me. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs. So a little bit about what I believe in, like, religion. So during coming of age, I took the Belief Net quiz with my mentor, Wendy. And I got secular humanism, which means it's more of a science-based religion. And secular humanism doesn't believe there's a God or a supernatural being. I don't think, they don't believe in, like, a good or an evil, so to say. And I don't think people should be discriminated against for their race or gender or anything. I'm pretty sure I am an atheist. Yeah, okay. So yeah, and I don't believe in the afterlife too much, and I don't really think there's a way to tell if there is an afterlife or if there's not one. A little bit about coming of age, I guess. Did I enjoy doing coming of age this year? Not really. Yeah, but I mean, it definitely made me think more about some more deeper stuff, I guess. So yeah, it kind of forced me into thinking about more religion and more important topics like that. And having been raised in a UU community, I like the second UU principle, because it means justice and equality and compassion in human relations, which is kind of complicated. Same with the third one, which is acceptance for one another's engagement to spiritual growth and or congressions. Those are the complicated things. I found them on the internet, but anyway, that's not the point. I like the second one because everyone should be equal, and you shouldn't treat anyone different because of their gender or race. And the third one is pretty similar. So yeah, more about, like, what I believe, I guess, for the afterlife. So I think when do, like, people die? I'm pretty sure, or, like, what I believe is that people die when their heart stops beating and you stop breathing and stuff. Pretty simple. And my pro-choice or whatever the other one is. Yes, I'm pro-choice because I think you should let people choose if they have an abortion or not. And I don't think your family or friends or doctors or anybody should let you or force you into keeping a child. That would make your life harder. Not that having a child isn't hard already. So yeah, a little bit about me, just extra little stuff. I like to play soccer. I'm a referee. I am an extrovert, I'm pretty sure. Although I can seem pretty quiet when you first meet me. So yeah.
finished this month's full offering with the Oliver Lagrone Scholarship. The Oliver Lagrone Scholarship offers the largest local scholarship available to graduates of Harrisburg Public High Schools. Scholars receive $10,000, $2,500 annually, and are assigned a mentor to provide advice and guidance during their post-secondary education. The scholarship named for former UCH member Oliver Lagrone, 1906 to 1995, a nationally noted poet, sculptor, philosopher, and humanitarian. As a result of COVID, like so many other organizations, the Oliver Lagrone Scholarship fundraising activities have been greatly reduced, so please give generously. There is a link for contributing to today's plate collection in the video description below. You may have to click on the word "Show More" to see it. The same link in the email that went out to the members this morning with the link to today's service. Your financial support and commitment matter. UCH appreciates your generosity.
I write this credo without the intention that all of my values will remain exactly the same for my entire life. I wrote it more with the expectation that at least one of my ideas will have changed by tomorrow morning. With that being said, I still feel as though I agree with almost everything I'm writing down, at least for the time being. Getting started, my name is Gwen. I come from a family of two parents, a mom and a dad, two brothers, Matt and Casey, two tuxedo cats, Iris and Fred, and two guinea pigs, Willow and Nani. I'm 13 years old and I'm currently in 7th grade. Some of my favorite bands include Radiohead, Green Day, New Order, and The Strokes, although I'm always up for more musical experiences. I believe music is a very simple yet complex way to express one's thoughts or beliefs. Within a single song or album, the composers will expose the listener to a set of characters that go through some sort of plot. It could be based on real events in history or be entirely fictional, yet each piece of music almost always has a deeper meaning it is trying to convey. This may be extremely specific in context to the album, but in the end is completely up to the listener as to what they think the song is about. A good example of this would be Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots Part 1 by the Flaming Lips, which appears to be exactly what it sounds like, someone attempting to save their city from giant robots using karate. A lot of fans, however, believe that the song has to do with a young girl overcoming cancer. Apart from lyrics, a lot of other parts of song and music, such as structure and guitars, can have hidden messages too. In 2 + 2 = 5 by Radiohead, there's a change in time signature at exactly 2:25, which I believe is a reference to how the protagonist completely agrees with anything they're told, even when shown otherwise. I feel as though in many ways music can express the writer's thoughts in a short period of time. I think that your life begins and ends at birth and death, at least for your physical body. I do, however, feel as though you continue existing outside of that. When it comes to what actually happens after you die, I honestly don't have a specific belief. I often like to think that you're rewarded for living a good life is some sort of heaven type thing, although the idea of it being that black and white never really made sense to me. I feel as though if you do go to some sort of afterlife, there would be more than just 2 options that depend on whether you were good or evil. A lot of people like to talk about how relatives who have passed away continue to watch over you and make sure you're doing well. As a young child, this idea honestly made me a little weirded out and possibly even a bit scared. I didn't like the feeling that I was constantly being stalked by my great-grandparents. Now when I think about it, I find comfort in feeling that loved ones are still there with me, although I still doubt they're actually watching you. When it comes to a God figure, I've never really had a strong opinion on what I believe. I usually tend to think of it as a force rather than an actual human being, and would often question whether it was even a real thing. I suppose I would identify as agnostic, although sometimes I feel a connection to a greater figure, even though I've never been able to put a finger on what I think that is. Even though I don't have a specific belief in what I think our God is, I enjoy hearing what other people have to say about what they think. Some of my friends who go to different churches have more of an idea on it than I do, and it's sometimes interesting to listen to their beliefs even when I maybe don't feel the same way. I feel as though although our world is becoming more inclusive in a lot of ways, we're also kind of taking a step in the wrong direction. A lot of things that were never really a big deal are now being discriminated against simply because people of power are drawing attention to them in a negative way. One of the things that makes me the most angry or upset are when people disrespect others, especially for things they can't help. I may be slightly hypocritical due to having also judged people, though in secret. I can't really think of a reason why I discriminated against someone, especially since I don't like feeling judged and I'm easily offended. I sometimes feel as though our community overall likes to jump between different minorities simply just because some of the leaders tend to have an us versus them mentality. Another thing I think humans as a whole aren't really doing that well with is trying to prevent issues with our planet's ecosystems. The fact that a lot of us still don't accept that we are one of the main causes of global warming is slightly concerning to me. Earlier this school year, my geography class had to each write an essay on this topic, and a few of the students had responses that left me a little puzzled. We had been giving information and shown charts that to me were quite clearly showing a certain cause and outcome. I guess everyone had looked at it differently, because some people had just said that the Earth had been known to go through periods of warm or cool before reviewing the data. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. A bunch of people are also continuing to pollute the planet by littering or damaging water sources. This again makes me feel slightly irritated. The way I see it, if we continue to cause issues with the Earth's environment, soon our species will have to suffer extreme consequences. At the end of the day, I believe there isn't really much more I have to say about my current thoughts. This is just a rough draft, so I'll probably find something to change later. In the meantime, I'm going to go listen to OK Computer by Radiohead for inspiration.
Hello, my name is Corey and I serve as your Director of Religious Exploration. Today is a momentous day for our coming-of-age youth and their families. We are eternally grateful to Amy Beth Gibbs as our lead facilitator for this year's coming-of-age program, especially in a pandemic year where everything had to be experienced virtually. Across religions and cultures, people honor the transition from childhood to adulthood with study and ritual. For Unitarian Universalists, the coming-of-age service is the culmination of a process that involves studying the history of our liberal faith, creating a statement of beliefs to share with their congregation, with the help of trusted and respected adult members of our congregation who brings integrity, honesty, and ethical interaction to that process. And now I want to thank this year's mentors, Jessica Chukalovak, Patty Hazel, Wendy Shaver, J.D. Stillwater, and Kendra Trefanastock. Again, thank you all. Although this has been a year of social distancing, we did find ways for each student to experience a meaningful relationship with a mentor. I am confident that each of our youth impressed their mentors with their intellect and character. And now, to our youth, to Amy Beth, and to our mentors, as a symbol of your commitment to our faith, you will be receiving a keychain with our flaming chalice, a symbol of our faith, because we believe in you. We promise you our continuing friendship and share with you the hopes and labors of making this a better world. May we continue to grow together and be witnesses to our confirmed faith. Finally, many thanks to the parents and others for supporting each of our youth, their efforts over the years here at the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. Thank you to our youth for applying themselves to the task and for graciously accepting the pressure to be clear in what they believe or don't believe. We are thrilled with the results of their efforts and know that these can be of value to others exploring Unitarian Universalism of any age.
Do you know what you believe? Why you think and feel and act how you do? Have you explored your own spiritual journey? Reflected on your daily spiritual practices? Have you ever tried to write down how you feel about the hard questions? If not, we urge you to give it a go. To put into words the morals that guide you on your path. To actualize the 7 principles in your own way. To share how you do, or wish you could, live them. Forge ahead just like always and do wonderful things. We believe in you. We believe in us. We believe that UHC is zooming ahead into amazing times.
The coming of age service is drawing to a close. The benediction that concludes the service is a blessing. The benediction is a sending forth. Brian, Jackson, Gwen, Aurelia, and Nadia have spoken their credos. Their words express the passion of their youth and the wisdom they have gained through their participation in the religious exploration program of the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg. They have demonstrated that they are prepared to become members of the church. They have spoken their values and ethical commitments for all to hear. Take care of the earth. We need to help because we all suffer. Religion can be based on science and personal experience. It is right to be angry when people are discriminated against. Strive to be a good person. Brian, Jackson, Gwen, Aurelia, and Nadia, the people of the church and I honor you this day and congratulate you on your growth as Unitarian Universalists. We are confident that you will carry the wisdom you have learned in this church with you. We are confident that you will learn more yet, expand on the wisdom you've learned here, and add to it. You will enlarge the world's wisdom. We are confident that you will not lose your passion for life or for acting justly in the world. We are confident that each of you will embody Unitarian Universalism in your lifetime of learning and thinking and acting. I remind you, I remind your parents, I remind all the members of the church and anyone else who is watching this service today that living this faith is not a single decision or action taken on a single day. It is a lifelong endeavor. My final words are addressed not only to the 5 young people that are honored today. Some of these words echo theirs, and I address these words to all who are participating in or watching the coming of age service. Care for the earth. Care for your fellow human beings. Listen to science and listen to your heart. When you are angry at injustice, act to correct that injustice. And always strive to be the best person you can possibly be. I encourage you to go farther out into the world than you have already gone. I encourage you to continue to be nurtured by the love and blessings of this liberal religious community. I encourage you to live with the confidence that the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg will always welcome you home. Amen. Blessed be.